Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
This is Banned from Ringside.
Tonight on the Banned from Ringside podcast, breaking news, WWE makes a whole bunch of cuts just about 20 minutes ago or an hour ago. We have a very good Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston match. We have a pay-per-view Full Gear coming up next week, but we're moving towards that. NXT 2.0, I ended up watching the entire thing, and some main roster stuff happening with my man KO, Big E, and Seth Rollins. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Banned from Ringside podcast. Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Mark. So welcome to the Banned from Ringside podcast. I'm your host, Bill Vagey, as always, a.k.a. Kiki Handerway. Sorry, Zach. I know you didn't get that one. I knew that one was going to kill Jason, though. Well, you know what? We'll start with Zach. And out there in Portland, Oregon, we have Tube here, Zach Pullman. What's going on, Tube here?
Man, I'm glad I didn't get that joke out. A mouthful of pot roast, and I probably would have died. There's nobody here to do your Heimlich.
Oh, shit.
And sitting to my left, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
You should have went with him first because Kiki Vanderway used to play in Portland. That's a beautiful thing. Allows the power heads as I read from the latest edition of the Banned from Ringside podcast, volume 230, chapter 3, verse 14, and the good smart say it. Hashtag BOOTHEHEELS. Boo the heels, baby. It's all good. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat the holy trinity of BFR. So I took a nap this afternoon because I knew I was going to have to come out here for the pod. And I wake up to 12 text messages. I'm looking like, what the fuck is going on? And the next thing you know, there's blood on the highway. WWE strikes again. Another round of cuts. We're going to jump into that and delve into a little AEW and a little bit of everything. But the WWE cuts, some surprising, some not so much. But I can't wait to hear what this discussion is going to lead into. We are coming at you from the crisp, cool patio in my house, or at my house in St. Charles, Missouri. John Moxley was obviously the big story this week. John Moxley, who is arguably the face of AEW, has taken an indefinite leave of absence. He is going through inpatient alcohol treatment, if I think I'm saying that correctly. And so we're not going to talk about that too much. We're not going to put in the 3 count. We're not going to put in the odds and ends. We're just going to put it straight up front. I thought CM Punk said it best the other night during his promo that, if you're feeling shitty, if you're feeling like you need help, reach out for help. It's a courageous thing to do. It's a cool thing to do, frankly, and good for John Moxley. There's not much that we're going to say. We're not going to get into the shit that was happening on Twitter, which was turning it into an AEW versus WWE thing, which is just fucking, it's absurd. It's absurd. So we're just not going to go there. Anyway, best wishes to John Moxley. We hope you're back soon. And without further ado, let's get to that. 3 counts.
1, 2, 3.
JCB, kick it off.
Well, it had to happen sooner or later. I guess it just decided to happen today. WWE takes over the headlines once again with another round of cuts. I believe I have the list in front of me in no particular order. I'll just go down the list. Nia Jax, Eva Marie, Mia Yim, Harry Smith, a.k.a. Harry Smith Jr. from MLW. Keith Lee, big surprise. Karrion Kross, big surprise, at least in my mind. Lindsay Dorado, Grand Metalik, Jessica Maya, Karina Cortez, Trey Baxter, Zaina Ramir, I said Jessica Maya, B-Fab from Hit Row just got called up. Now she's gone. Oni Lorcan, Amber Moon, a little bit of a surprise. Frankie Monet, big surprise. And Scarlett Bordeaux, once again, kind of a surprise because she never joined Karrion Kross. So
Jay-Z of Hawaiian Soapy fame
You ain't shit.
Sorry. Had to get my Machiavelli reference in there.
What does this mean? I'll be surprised. There's some.
Hold on, Jason. Let me quarterback the show. Jason, what does this mean?
I'll be surprised. I'm not sure what this actually means. Like, there's names on this list. Like, Karrion Kross kind of jumps out. You know, he was kind of dead in the water when he got to the main roster, and now he's cut before even Scarlett comes into the picture. Everybody's like, you know, let's see what happens when Scarlett gets here. Well, she doesn't even get here. She's cut. Harry Smith, Bill and I were talking about this. We were like, you know, isn't this, you know, Davey Boy Smith's junior son? Yeah. Next thing you know, he doesn't even get on TV. He's cut. Nia Jax, this has been one of those that's been, you know, in the rumor mill for a while. It just so happens that it's happening now. You know, a little bit of surprise in that just because of who Nia Jax is in WWE world. Being blood relation to The Rock usually gets you far. Probably got her a little farther than she probably should have been, but neither here nor there. I'll let you guys talk about it. But the one, and yes, you might want to get the button ready. The one I want to talk about is Eva Marie. Now, if you're going to have somebody to have a full podcast telling me how bad my take is on Eva Marie and how she's going to be used to get Piper Niven over. No, I'm not calling her ass Dewdrop. It's Piper Niven. This person needs to step up to the plate and now admit that he is wrong. Okay? Eva Marie was not brought back to get people over. Eva Marie was brought back to get eyes on the product and the product only. The fact that now she's released a few months after being brought in this same year?
Wait a minute. Who are you asking? Somebody on Twitter? Wait, are you talking about me?
No, I'm not talking about you.
Oh, okay. All right. I was that might have been something I said. I don't know. I don't remember a lot of shit I said.
The dude that did the whole podcast about how bad the Eva retake was. That did.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, Zach wasn't here for that, though.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So now we're back on full circle. So now Eva Marie, this heat magnet that I was being told that she was, has been released. How are you a heat magnet and you're being released? How are you getting people over and you're getting released? Eva Marie was brought in to have casual fans look over and then have the WWE Universe Google like they always do over some hot chick. And I'm not mad about that. Liv Morgan, same concept. I'll get to her in a little bit. The fact of the matter is that Eva Marie was a bad signing to begin with. Then you re-signed her, which made it worse. You doubled down on it, and you tried to get her to put over Piper. You didn't need to have her to even try to put over Piper Niven. Piper Niven is good on her own. The fact that you tried to think that was a good idea bothers the shit out of me, and I want my motherfucking repercussions coming up in this motherfucker in a little bit.
Okay, Zach, what's the biggest one? What stands out to you here?
Yeah, I mean, just the overarching nature of it. A couple of them kind of surprised me. I mean, Keith Lee would be the biggest, like, surprise out of the bunch because they were at least kind of, you know, he's had his struggles on the main roster, but, you know, they kind of came back with this Bearcat thing, and I was like, yeah, you know, maybe they'll make something of it. Didn't really have any high hopes, but the thing that really stands out is just, like, the sheer amount of cuts, the timing. I mean, it's right before the holidays. They're making entire families unemployed. You know, it's like Carrie and Scarlett, Mia and Keith. You know, it's just like, yeah, we just don't care about anybody. We had a quarterly earnings call yesterday, said we pulled in $256 million, but we better make some budget cuts with this talent. So it's bonkers to me. It's baffling. It's the most profitable they've ever been. And, you know, if they're not going to do something with some of these people, it's fine. They're not a charity. They are a business. But, dude, like, you can do something with a lot of these people. Frankie Monet, Ty Valkyrie, like, she's a proven star, like, elsewhere. She had 6 matches in NXT.
I don't mean to laugh because all bullshit aside, Ty Valkyrie was one of my picks for the Beefers for Woman of the Year. I think it was a couple years ago. So, I mean, I was naturally excited.
She just moved to Florida because she was working for WWE. Like, her and John just moved from, like, L.A. to Florida because it made more sense because she was working in NXT to live in Florida. Absolutely insane.
I'll say this real quick. The Frankie Monet the Frankie Monet release didn't surprise me because how she was portrayed in NXT. She got squashed by Raquel Gonzalez fairly quickly, and then you didn't see too much too much from her after the fact. The first time I saw her, I think, was on that Halloween Havoc episode last week. Keith Lee, same thing. Came out hot, beat Randy Orton. We were all like, yeah, Keith Lee. And then slowly but surely, either from COVID or poor creative / booking, Keith Lee started to decline. Shit. Aleister Black was getting ready to start a whole fucking new angle with his shit, whatever that was, and then they cut him. So we shouldn't be surprised about Keith Lee being cut when he was coming back as Bearcat Keith Lee or whatever it was.
Well, I'll say this. When you look at the whole of the cuts, when you look at every single person that's cut, I'm going to give a shout-out to somebody on Friends of BFR on Facebook, Justin Matthew. I don't know this gentleman. I've never seen him comment on anything, I don't think. But he said Vince is getting rid of anything that resembles Triple H NXT. And when you look at all of the cuts, that looks to be pretty similar. I mean, he's not getting rid of everything. Obviously, there are guys there that, Gargano and Ciampa and everybody, But NXT 2.0 is definitely a different look. And Keith Lee and Karrion Kross, to me, are the strangest ones. Keith Lee was a can't-miss talent. Like, the guy could get over in the ring with anybody that he was in there with. He could carry himself like a superstar. The crowd loved him. He came in the Royal Rumble. The crowd popped. Vince was like, okay, we'll give a shot with him. Then Vince made him lose a bunch of matches. And then Vince decides to call him, or Vince and the powers that be decide to call him Bearcat, make him roar like a bear or whatever the fuck they did. And then Vince is like, well, now Vince is just a fucking... He galaxy brains himself out of all this shit. It's like Keith Lee is a no doubt talent. And it is ridiculous that Vince can't see it. Now, there's certainly other factors at play, I'm sure, and I'm not talking about him being black. I'm talking about just how much they're paying. I don't know what salaries look like, and I don't know what he's trying to cut. And maybe they're like, you have to cut X, or he's like, we need to cut X amount of dollars. And
dude, that is the go ahead, finish.
It's not because of talent. They're not cutting Keith Lee and Frankie Monet.
They weren't doing anything with Keith Lee. Okay,
but they could have though.
Okay,
it's
but
it's a can't miss. It's a can't miss.
In the
he is big
WWE
enough. He's big enough to fight the fucking Undertaker. He's big enough to fight the Big Show. He is big enough to, and plus he moves like a guy that's not as big as he is, and he's a very likable babyface that could get over. Okay. That would get over if given the chance. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
And here's the problem with all that. WWE big-time superstars need to check one of two boxes, if not both. One, you have to usually be larger than life, okay? Whether it's by personality, Austin, Rock, HBK.
Yeah, that's 20 years ago, though.
But that rule still applies now. That's why I think the second part, they're going back to the bigger, younger, more athletic guys. Keith Lee checks that backhand box, the athletic part. He can go in the ring. He's not a promo guy. And at some point in WWE, you have to be able to put the microphone in front of your face and be able to talk people down this road, whatever story you're telling. Keith Lee couldn't do that enough to where WWE was like, okay, he can't do what we want him to do in ring, but he can talk. Look at Hit Row. They just got called up a couple weeks ago, they had the segment on SmackDown with Kofi Kingston and Xavier, which I thought was really funny and entertaining. But that's what they want. They want entertaining. They want people to be able to do, here's what we want you to do. Now go out and do it. Go entertain. Keith Lee couldn't do it the way that they wanted to do it. He might have entertained you, me, Two Beer, but not them. And that's what's most important.
What about that guy that talked a bunch of shit on you about your Eva Marie take? Do you think that he liked Keith Lee? No, I'm just kidding. Don't answer that. Just don't answer
I
that.
wasn't going to.
I do think it's the budget cuts thing. I think it's telling because they don't need to cut budget, but they do if they are trying to show more profits for a potential sale. And I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time, and we mention it every time they do this, but they also had some office cuts like earlier in the week that were not real publicized because people, those are faceless people.
Yeah, and the budget cut thing might be a 2-year project. They might say, every 4 or 5 months we have to unload X amount of salary or whatever it is. Another one that was very strange to me, and I'd like to hear Zach's opinion on this, is Nia Jax, who she was on TV a lot. I know that being on TV a lot and being in the storyline shouldn't be shocking to us anymore. But what do you think about Nia Jax, Zach?
That definitely shocked me because it's like now finally it's like she's injured, which maybe that didn't help her any whenever it came to deciding, who to get rid of. And I imagine she probably gets paid decently. So that also probably didn't help her. But it's not like she has been injury prone herself. She's prone to injuring, but not necessarily herself.
Right.
But yeah, like it is surprising. And
let me start a nasty rumor here that is totally unfounded, and I have no knowledge of this, but just if anybody's aggregating this podcast, you know what I heard? I heard Charlotte said, just cut Nia Jax too. Get rid of her.
Go ahead, cut this bitch.
That's what I heard. I have an insider. I have a source in WWE.
What's your source? Trust me.
Well, I can't reveal my source. Deep Throat, motherfucker. I'm not fucking going to tell you who.
Right. Nia Jax didn't really surprise me, man. I mean, I think we've seen.
Does she relate to The Rock?
Yeah, very much so. And
well, they also don't have a ton of depth. Like they don't have a ton of depth in general, but especially in the women's division. Like, she's at least somebody. Not only was she on TV, but she was at the top. She wasn't ever champion, but she was always that contender.
Okay, but I think A, we've seen the ceiling with Nia Jax, and then B, supposedly, Liv Morgan cross paths with Becky Lynch. That might be a thing. Dana Brooke apparently smoothed things over between Charlotte and Becky backstage. That might be a thing because now they're high on Dana Brooke. Ultimately, I don't think any of that matters. I need to see the proof in the ring, wins. And like I said, way long time ago, wins and losses matter. And now that it's starting to really come to fruition, it doesn't matter, like, ultimately, who's the greatest of all time. That doesn't matter. But when you see people getting booked poorly, that's usually a bad sign. Keith Lee carrying Cross for a hot minute until they put him back on track.
Jeff Hardy
ain't going nowhere.
Tozawa.
Okay, thank you. Guys that should be in a better position than where they are, and now they're here chasing the 24/7 title or, God forbid, doing some kind of crazy vignette backstage. WWE tells you who they like. It might not be who you like, but they'll tell you who they like. And from that point on, you're going to have to decide if that's, something, a product you want to get behind or you don't want to get behind. I don't disagree either way. I'm just saying that in the case of just Keith Lee, quote unquote, can't miss prospect, clearly he missed in some form or fashion. He couldn't connect with Vince.
Well, then,
and that's the ultimate thing.
Zach, what do you think about Karrion Kross? Like, how will history remember Karrion Kross's his stint in WWE? Because
it'll be a total meme.
Was it a year?
No, it wasn't a year since he's been in WWE.
Might have been a year since he signed.
Oh, since he signed,
like with NXT and all that.
And just the company as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a total meme because, I mean, it was funny because Adam Cole, like, totally ethered him on that promo. And, I mean, Adam Cole also wasn't, like, super wrong. But Karrion Kross did have a mystique because of the entrance and the hot chick and all that. And he came off kind of like a monster in comparison to those smaller NXT guys. But, I mean, he went to the main roster, and it was a total meme. I mean, he was just losing, and they put him in a Road Warrior outfit.
Right.
And, I mean, that's what I remember. Like, I don't remember anything, like, super cool about his NXT days. And he was also in the twilight years of when NXT was cool. Like, it was starting to go downhill whenever he was on the top of it, too. So, it's not going to be remembered great.
I'm listening to this book on tape right now. It's called The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. It's a 57-hour book on tape. It was written in 1960. But
Jesus,
it's something that interests me.
I know that book.
Yeah, it's a famous book written in 1960 by this guy but
Marx.
He talks about in the foreword. He talks about how there were a lot of people that told him he shouldn't write the book because, like, the French, for instance, think that you shouldn't even start writing history. You shouldn't start evaluating history until you have 100 years of hindsight. And writing a book about the rise and fall of the Third Reich.
He's going to be alive at that point, but go
well, maybe not from now, but from then, you know. Yeah. But it is hard to evaluate NXT, especially now, because we're less than a year from. I mean, when did NXT start to go on television? I mean, it was less than 2 years ago, right? Something like that. When they decided to go up against AEW.
Yeah, we were doing the podcast.
October 2019.
There you go. So it was 2 years ago. So it's hard to kind of see. I know we're not talking about the Third Reich or Napoleon or anything.
I was wondering where we're going with
this is, I mean, it's fresh in my mind, and I thought that I would give it to the people.
Okay.
That I'm saying, yes, while we were going through it, we knew that we were watching the decline of NXT. But really, the Karrion Kross era, and I don't think this is the talent's fault. I like Karrion Kross probably more than you guys do.
No, I would defend Kross here more times than that.
But that was not the heyday of NXT.
No.
Like Zach said, it was the tail end of when NXT was what it was. Now it's something completely different. That's also not the talent's fault. But the Karrion Kross kind of, to me, with very little hindsight, seems to me like the harbinger. That's how we knew that it was done. Was that Karrion Kross was the champion and not some wild work rate guy, which is what we had gotten over and over and over and over and over again. You don't agree with that, Jason?
Totally disagree.
What do you think?
Totally disagree. Okay.
You think NXT still ruled then?
Well, I said it then. I thought part of the problem was they did the title versus title merging of the title, and you had Keith Lee being the sole champion. I didn't necessarily think that was a smart move there to begin with. Now Karrion Kross comes in, and now he's coming in as, you know, this empire is crumbling down around him. That's not his fault, okay? You brought him in knowing what he does. His style is on tape, and you still brought him in. The fact that you didn't do what you were supposed to do before he got there, that's not his fault.
Just like I said, it wasn't Hitler's fault either. No, I'm kidding.
You going to hell, dog.
I know that Zach agrees with me. No, I'm just kidding.
If anybody likes books in that realm, the Origins of Totalitarianism by Hannah Arendt, I read that earlier this year. It's pretty profound.
Ooh, text that to me. Yeah, I like history.
Christ.
Hey, we're dads, dude. We like dad shit. We watch Saving Private Ryan on July 4th every year and cry. We like dad shit.
Good God.
In our white New Balance and try not to get barbecue sauce on the
Black
sneakers.
socks.
Yeah.
I love you guys. It's good to me. This is my family life, okay? I'm going to go back to the city and do some bachelor shit. Just run the street like, fuck your house.
All right, let's get to that 2 count.
1, 2, 3.
2 beer. What's the 2 count?
2 count, we got AEW going on. We had a fantastic Rampage on Friday. One of the best Rampages there's been, and I know there hasn't been like a ton of them, and it just started like a few months ago, but it's usually a fun, tight 1-hour show with at least one really good match, and I think there was 3 really good matches here. I had a lot of fun. So opened up with Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston. Super fun. I listened to John Moxley on Wrestling Observer. He was promoting this new book, and he was saying how he watched this in like Gorilla with like Tony Khan, and he said it was his favorite match he's ever seen in his entire life. Which he's like, I'm biased. He's like, Eddie's like my best friend, and I think Bryan Danielson's the best wrestler ever. He's like, but this is my favorite match I've ever seen in my entire life. So, I mean, I won't give it that kind of level of hyperbole, but it was really
good. Yeah,
match.
I was going to say a good psychology in the sense where, once again, Daniel Bryanson wins in a different way than he hasn't won before, but Eddie Kingston.
Oh, the finish was so good.
Yeah,
like he puts him in the triangle, and like Kingston knows that he can't get out, so he just gives him the finger.
Yeah,
like as he's passing out. That was so incredibly creative.
Well, it's so Eddie Kingston won, and in this scenario, I have sometimes a problem with how wrestlers are protected. This is a normal. It's now becoming normal where instead of just tapping out, if you want to really protect this character, you just have them pass out or whatever the case may be. I think I saw Tom Lawler did it on MLW the other night or whatever the case may be. So that, in that scenario, that was cool. I'll say this much. Eddie Kingston's got one of the hardest chops in wrestling. He turned Bryan Danielson's chest into
ground beef.
It was red AF, red in your shirt, okay? It was one of the best parts of the match. You take that, and then you had Daniel Bryanson going after the legs or whatever the case may be. It was a really solid ass match.
We talked last week about how we were.
I got to say, like, that just reminded me of this line cook I used to work with. And you guys will appreciate this coming from the restaurant business, but he was talking about his then girlfriend, who also was a server. Big surprise at the restaurant. But basically, Kingston did to Bryan Danielson what this guy Zach said he did to Kayla's private. Just, I turned that shit into hamburger meat.
Jesus Christ!
I think about it at least once a month. But now you guys will too.
Thanks. The gift that keeps on giving.
Should have put a trigger warning at the beginning of this thing.
Trust me, it's going to be implicit. Motherfucker, you know what the fuck's going on.
We talked last week about how we were looking. I'm not going to do it. We talked last week about how we were looking forward to this match, and this match lived up to it, I would say. I was completely happy with the storytelling in this match, and there's not much more to say than that. Bryan Danielson has the best matches. The other day on my Facebook memories, there was a thing that I had in 2009 where I Facebooked at like 4 o'clock in the morning about how Dana Bryan matches were the best, and there was like one like on it, and it was Jinder Mahal, and everybody else just ignored it. But yeah,
it's 4 in the morning,
Bryan Danielson's been putting on the best. He has the best matches. I mean, in and out, like even standard matches, he has the best ones, if you ask me.
No, he gets it. And then I think that's half the battle. Knowing what you want to do before you actually get into the ring is half the battle. Executing it is the other half. And so far, there is nothing that I can say wrong about what they've done with Bryan Danielson so far.
Well, he can work anybody's style of match. Like, it's not like he forces other people into his style of match. He'll do anything.
Yeah.
He'll excel at it.
And then Eddie Kingston and CM Punk have a little run-in. We'll get to that when we get to Dynamite because there's more there. Next up, we had Dante Martin versus Matt Seidel. I was watching this match, and I tweeted that Seidel was doing some real veteran work here, man. He made Dante Martin, who I think is only 20, 21 or so.
20.
He made him look like $1 million fucking dollars, and that is what you want from your 40-year-old veteran. Who I think he actually trains Dante Martin. I think they put that in a promo that he's...
Yeah, I think that was on Dynamite.
On Dynamite,
yeah.
Which is interesting. So they probably know each other pretty well, and it looks like Seidel's doing a great job because that was also a really fun match. What you think, Zach?
Totally. You said it. He made him look great. He doesn't need a lot of help getting over with the crowd because he's so dynamic and he just jumps so high and he floats through the air and he's just so athletic. But when it comes to not looking green, because he's 20 years old, like, yeah, he's probably been wrestling for a few years, probably started as a teenager to be kind of as good as he is now. But, I mean, he's still, a green dude, and Seidel's a great opponent for him. A little bit bigger. He can work, like, as a base, but he's still also a high flyer. Really great chemistry. And, yeah, super fun match. Dante gets a big win, or they made it seem like a big win because he doesn't get a lot of wins. He always gets over with the crowd, but he also gets pinned a lot.
That was Martin Seidel 3, and he had lost the first 2. This is the first one he won.
Yep. Yeah. So, super fun match. Just kept this thing going, and I was just like, man, I was like, this episode rules.
That's what I was going to say, that this was the third match, and normally you don't have where one guy wins the first 2 matches and you still get the third, Cody and Alistair aside. I think this match, did what it was supposed to do. It gave Dante Martin that big win that he needs to kind of, keep him not relevant, but just somebody that you just don't think that is a high flyer that's going to give you these spots but never wins at the end. Him winning this match ultimately is important because I think once Darius comes back, that's where you're going to have the rub starting to come into play because my expectation is that Dante and Leo Rush go on some sort of run of wins. You bring Darius back. Okay, hey, I'm ready to be a tag team again. Well, wait, me and Leo are doing our thing over here, and that's where I think ultimately it comes into play.
Leo Rush and Dante Martin sounds like a fun tag team. I know we said this last week. That sounds like a fun tag team.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
What's up next, Zach?
Next we had the, I don't know what they called it, but it was essentially your Halloween match with Britt Baker and Abaddon. So no disqualification, hardcore match, which Britt Baker does really well in. And I think if they would have had like a normal match, it would not have played off as well. But I mean, Abaddon was perfect for her gimmick is perfect for this kind of match. They put it all out there. I mean, tables, chairs. Britt,
thumbtacks.
Did like thumbtacks. Britt did the what do you call it? The concerto, like Pillmanized Abaddon's neck. Looked terrible. Abaddon dumped out the thumbtack, slammed Britt on him, and then Britt shoved a thumbtack in Abaddon's mouth.
Jesus.
Before she did the lockjaw. So,
I forgot about that.
Really wild match. Yeah, really wild match.
That. What'd you think, Jason?
I had low expectations in this. It was Tubular said, it was no disqualification, and then obviously if Abaddon won, she would have a title shot. Well, when you have Ty Conte on, basically in the on-deck circle, that, Britt Baker's not going to lose. And that's what I like about AEW. They're not going to have the champion lose before the title match coming up to it. That just doesn't make sense. Then the match itself just went on a whole nother level, like Two Beer said. And next thing you know, that spot where Britt did the curb stomp where Abaddon's neck was in between the chair, that was cringe. When Abaddon brought out the tax, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Now we're going to a whole nother level. God bless Britt Baker. I mean, she might not be the most technical wrestler in the world, but when push comes to shove, you can put out tape after tape, Sheeta, Thunder Rosa, Abaddon now, where she will take a bump and have no problem with that. That's what I like about Britt Baker. Low expectation to this match, but ultimately, this turned out to be a really good main event.
Love the match. If anybody from AEW is listening, and I know we have lots of AEW listeners, or people that work for AEW, but if you guys are listening, please keep Rampage as an hour-long show. You guys already have Elevation. You already have Dark. That's for the real heads. That's for the marks. Let them watch it all. But Rampage is such a hot hour show that
it was
they've really figured it out
4 years ago.
They've really figured it out, and like Zach said, this was an hour that was well worth my time. I didn't fast forward through a single second of it. I was completely entertained, and they came out. It kind of flies in the face of traditional wrestling booking, is that maybe not TV booking, but traditional wrestling booking is that the first thing you see on TV is going to be the hottest thing you see. And that was Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston, which, like I said,
came out swinging.
I loved. I loved it.
Oh, really?
I loved it.
Oh, we doing this?
I mean, that's why you're a fan, man. That's what I'm looking for. So there's probably going to be some temptation to make it 2 hours, make it like a SmackDown style show. Or they shouldn't. They should just keep it 1 hour and keep it hot as fuck.
If they did it, I wouldn't be too upset, but I agree with you. The 1 hour, when NXT was 1 hour on the network, that was a 1 hour of can't miss TV. And that was, even when they didn't have all the big names, that was still an hour where they packed some shit in. And then the next week, it was still always storyline related, and that's why I think it's a good way to go with Rampage.
Yeah, Rampage gets better and better every week, and we're going to talk about this week's Rampage coming up. Let's hear a word from our sponsor. No, I'm kidding. We don't have any sponsors. Zach,
are you guys going to Rampage?
No, I'm not.
No, I have to work.
But I mean, I'll be honest, I'm a little bitter that they took Full Gear away from us. Rampage is Rampage. It's going to be an hour. I'm expecting to make money this week. Well, I better make money this week because, your boy is back from Cali and I need a little extra cash. But that being said, I'm going to pass on this one. I'm waiting for an AEW pay-per-view, if you will, to come back to the Lou, and then I'll go to that. I just hopefully whoever goes to this Rampage just represents the Lou the way that I hope we are represented, because I know we're not the biggest city in the world, but our wrestling history is great.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I think it's going to be a hot crowd.
Hope so.
Yeah. What happened?
You want somebody to get pulled over and killed by police on the way home? Is that what you mean by? I mean,
Murder City, baby. Murder City.
Number one in a lot of things.
Not just a nickname.
Okay. Number one, baby. Act like you know.
Drive back on 70. You'll get killed.
Great. I got to take 70 on the way home. I'm black. You see me, right? I'm black. I'm one of you. Go ahead. Go.
We had AEW Dynamite also kicked off great with a match, and this is the long memory of Tony Khan, right? Alan Angels versus Kenny Omega in a match that almost broke the internet at the beginning of the pandemic, with people acting like it was the end of Kenny Omega's career. He sold too much for this no-name guy, Alan Angels, on his tryout match. And, since then, Alan Angels got signed. He's part of the Dark Order. And he's a solid worker, and I love the story here that they told. They definitely brought it up, and the story is that, even the greatest wrestlers have their nemesis that almost seem to have their number. And they have trouble, like they struggle even if they win. And that's the story with Kenny Omega and Alan Angels. Is Alan Angels has Kenny Omega's number, or so it seems, and gives him a bunch of the match, and ends up winning with a V trigger, which is cool because, you know, kind of subverts expectations, and, you know, it's fun, that kind of spontaneity where secondary moves or lead-up moves can become actual finishers in their own right, especially something as nasty as the V trigger. So that was neat. And then Kitty gets on the mic and says, "This guy ruined my career." You know, all that stuff. It's so good.
Don't you be embarrassing me.
It was really good.
It was the Great White Hype. Have you seen the Great White Hype?
Oh yeah.
He's like when Damon Wayans got punched by Jack Conlon, and he was like, "Oh, you trying to embarrass me on TV?" And all of a sudden, the whole fight just turned around. He's like, "What? This is 30 seconds. What's this popcorn match bullshit?" It was kind of that was the promo that it felt like to me after the match. But I totally agree with you about the lead up to this match. I don't want to call it long-term storyline, but it was at least. It was at least, yeah, it was a callback. That's the word I'm looking for.
It rewards longtime viewers.
No, it was a callback. It was if you saw this first match and you were like, who the fuck is this dude? And how is he giving Kenny Omega all this problems? And now we fast forward where Kenny Omega, you know, has done the belt collector thing. He's still AEW champion. You know, he's getting ready to have this.
And
big
he still
match.
has a hard. He still has
a hard time beating this
Alan Angels,
dude.
yeah.
It's sports like you've never. It's sports in the wrestling element. There's.
Would you call it sports entertainment?
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
I thought Alan Angels looked like $1 million fucking dollars. Kenny Omega made him look like $1 million fucking dollars. This was a really fun way to kick off AEW Dynamite, which we should add. Former co-host of the show and host of his own new podcast called Sideways in Time, Lucha Chris Murray, the Murray Man Murray, how he used to be back here before he transitioned.
Sold out.
He's now Lucha Chris.
What the fuck?
With Danny O.
You ain't shit.
A.K.A. Patriot Pat. They were on the hard camera. And you
I told you, I was looking for them, and I did not see them.
Oh, man, you could see him. But once I didn't see him for a long time, and then once you did see him, you just
kept seeing him.
And it was a lot easier because of Lucha Chris's mask. So.
Oh, I thought it was a lot easier because of Danny O's beard. I really did. Like, I just kept seeing his beard. Yeah, I kept seeing him.
See, this is the bad, but okay, well then at some point somebody needs to send me a screenshot of this so that way I can go back and see this shit. But that's
there's Patriot Pat's and his wife's sign got over because he held up a sign that said it was a GIF. He held up a sign that said "My wife is my soulmate," and then she held up a sign right after that said "Excalibur is my soulmate." And somebody made a GIF out of it, like this wrestling GIF. Twitter.
Stop playing with me right now.
Pretty funny. It's a great sign too. That's a great sign.
Comedy.
Anyway, they were there. It looked like they had a great time.
God damn right. Okay, look. I ain't mad at nobody. God bless him. Shit.
My favorite was the Orange Cassidy sign, which was just an orange piece of poster board.
So Kenny Omega and Alan Angels have a really good match. Kenny Omega cuts the promo afterwards. You ruined my career. Hangman Page comes out, fucks him up. We're obviously getting Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega.
This is the buckshot a second time. Well, actually, he tries the buckshot this time and misses it. A call back to the tag team match where we always, I was a big one that thought that Page was going to turn heel on Kenny Omega, and it looked like, he was getting ready to do the buckshot on him, and this was the heel turn, and he didn't do it. Now, fast forward to Wednesday night, he actually does the buckshot but misses.
And JPW shit.
Baby steps.
That's NJPW shit.
It's little seeds to win. If he does do it and he wins with it.
All right. Coming up next, we had CM Punk comes out, cuts a promo about Jon Moxley, and, gives his props to Jon Moxley for going into rehab and, fighting his demons and all that stuff, what you would expect from Punk. And then Punk goes into
dare I say, a pivot?
Eddie Kingston, who interrupted his CM Punk's backstage promo on Friday Night Rampage. And then he goes to Eddie Kingston. And I'll tell you what, this was the Punk I've been waiting to see. Because it's Punk versus a formidable opponent, you know, somebody who can actually go toe-to-toe with him on the stick.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And, well, I'll just ask you, Zach, what did you think of it?
I thought it was great up and down because it's so crazy the control that Punk has over a crowd where, like, they wanted to just go nuts for him. Like, you could tell Casey just wanted to freak out because he's within, like you said, he drove down here. He's within driving distance of his hometown and stuff. So, and he was just like, no, we're not doing that. Like, no stage guys. He's like, let's talk about some real shit. And then, we'll start playing into Kingston, and it's kind of cool because, you know, they even though Kingston's been doing some kind of more heelish stuff, you know, like interrupting Punk and stuff, he really is one of the most over baby faces in the company. People love him so much, and people love CM Punk, and they've got some differences to work out, and I think that makes for compelling storytelling. It doesn't always have to be babyface versus a heel, like a full-on program like that. One of the guys can work more subtly heel, and
you know, stole my thunder. That's where I was going with it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kingston can kind of work heel-ish, but he can still get cheered because it kind of seemed like the plan was for Moxley and Kingston to both kind of make that heel turn.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no way Moxley is a heel after coming back from rehab, though. So
Dude, you stole my thunder again, motherfucker.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. I'll say this: I totally agree with you with just Kingston Punk because it just, if you look at it from, you know, an objective point of view, Eddie Kingston's kind of in the wrong. You know, he's kind of jumping out of his lane or whatever the case may be, and stepping to Punk in a scenario where, you know, maybe you're pissed off you lost, but, you know, you lost. You know, let's take it like a man and let's move it along. Now, you know, you have a scenario. You got a scenario now where we got beef. You know what I'm saying? So what we getting ready to do? We're going to have to, you know, meet me at Rampage on Friday night in the Lou, and we're going to talk about this beef. I was kind of worried about, is Eddie Kingston going to get booed because Punk is so over and Eddie Kingston is kind of coming off as a little heelish, like you said. Ultimately, I don't think it matters. I think, you know, to me, the match is going to be good. I was just kind of not even worried, but just curious, I guess, better choice of words, to how fans will react to Eddie Kingston on Friday night coming into Rampage after what happened on Wednesday.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to lay my cards out on the table. I say there's no way Eddie Kingston gets booed. I don't think there's a single chance. I think that Eddie Kingston is so over as a babyface. CM Punk is so over as CM Punk. I mean, when CM Punk called out Eddie Kingston on Dynamite, the crowd didn't know what to do. And there was no pop either way. Like, there was like some murmurs, but nobody booed, nobody cheered because they were like, yeah, we're not going to boo Eddie Kingston.
No, I agree.
And they didn't. And it's well documented on this show what I think about Eddie Kingston and Eddie Kingston's character and Eddie Kingston's character, you know, in shoot style. And this is going to be a really fun babyface versus babyface match. And it's the best kind of babyface versus babyface match where they actually have a problem with each other. And it's going to be presented as a fight.
We got beef, nigga.
We got beef, you know?
We need to do this. That should be a Full Gear match, and it's going to be a Full Gear match. It should be like somewhere in the middle to fill the cold card.
That's how good Punk is. I don't know if he planned on saying this, but he said, I fully intended one to get into this Eliminator tournament to become the champion, but then I had to come in here and address Eddie Kingston. Everybody
and that's
booed,
when he booed, and it was like,
uh-oh. He goes, don't boo me. He goes, boo Eddie Kingston.
And I was like, uh-oh. And I'm like,
That was real good shit. And this is the Punk that I've been waiting for, the Mad Punk. Listen, the stuff with Powerhouse Hobbs and Hook and Taz, that was all fun.
It is what it is.
But now he's with somebody that's at least an upper mid-carder, which I would...
It feels a little more credible where
would you say that Eddie Kingston's an upper mid-carder?
You could... If he lost to Powerhouse...
He's main...
Go ahead, Tuber. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Upper mid-card, capable of being thrown in a main event, but he's not a main eventer all the time.
Right.
If Powerhouse Hobbs beat CM Punk, I would be like, what the fuck just happened? If Eddie Kingston beat CM Punk, I'd be like, oh, okay. It would be more credible, dare I say, realistic.
I mean, there's no way that Eddie Kingston beat CM Punk, right?
Not in this scenario, no.
Zach?
I don't think so. I would be very surprised.
What I'm really looking forward to, though, is Friday because CM Punk had his promo on Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston wasn't there. But them going face-to-face,
let's do this
Eddie
shit.
Kingston won the beefer last year, at least my beefer, for promo of the year when he went up against John Moxley and convinced me and Tender that he was going to win the title. Like, completely worked us. We were completely worked. That's how good that promo was.
That was awesome.
I am very much looking forward to see Eddie Kingston go toe-to-toe with CM Punk in a promo battle. This is the shit that you wait for as a wrestling fan, right?
Be quiet. Turn this shit up.
I'm completely psyched about it, and I'm looking forward to it as much as I was looking forward to Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston in the match last week. Like, that's how Eddie Kingston, he might be my wrestler of the year. I don't know. Only a couple months left.
Dude,
I'm not PWI. It don't have nothing to do with kayfabe. I can choose whoever the fuck I want.
There's 3 choices, and there's really only 2, but go ahead.
Eddie Kingston, his brother, Kofi Kingston.
Dylon, and Dylon.
Brian Cage, Christian Cage, Hangman Page, Diamond Dallas Page, Ethan Page. What was next? Zach?
Next, we had a Miro vignette, and then we had the Super Click, which is kind of like started out as just like a funny little, backstage segment with Alex Marvez, and then
how is he
Christian
not gonna
Cage
get the fuck
up.
out the way? That's my question. Come on, man. You see this starting to brew.
Can we, before we get into this though, can we talk about how Miro's promo? He was telling God that he needed time to decide if he was going to forgive God. Like, that is really fucking funny to me. He goes, God needs to prove it to me just like I need to prove it to her. I assume he's talking about his very hot wife.
Yep.
That's an incredible promo. An incredible promo by Miro.
Okay. I'm going to say this really quick, and let's just get this out the way. I was wrong. Okay? WWE put the shackles on Rusev, Aiden English, especially when Rusev Day was hot.
You haven't admitted that you're wrong about this yet? Okay, hold on. This is
public admission, okay? God damn it. Okay. Now shut the fuck up.
About a year
That's like longer than slavery reparations.
No, keep going, Jason. Sorry.
That was good. I'll say this. When Rusev Day was real hot, that's when they should have kept that motherfucker rolling. And that's when Rusev could have been that next guy, the guy that ultimately I think he's going to be in AEW. I would be very surprised at some point he's not world champion. At some point. It's not going to happen within the next 6 months. Somewhere down the line, he will be world champion.
What year is it? Did we just travel back in time? I thought you already knew this.
No, if you'd have told me this dude, Rusev, the way that WWE presented him versus the way that AEW is presenting him, they are 2 totally different guys. totally different guys. This AEW guy looks like he's getting ready to be champion someday. That Rusev guy, man, look, that dude was a joke. The Tank coming down to WrestleMania was his ceiling, and that's scary.
Okay, yeah, I thought that we were already all on the same page about that. Like, that's an admission.
We are, but I like to make every now and then I like to say that I'm wrong.
Listen,
Here's
guys,
that one time
when I watched the Mickey Mouse Club back in the early '90s, I thought JC Chasez was going to be the big star. Turns out it's Justin Timberlake. I was wrong about Timberlake. Okay. Turns out he's got a lot of charisma.
He's actually pretty good. Who would have thought?
I just can't wait till they hire CJ Perry and then.
Jesus Christ!
They just book him as a cuck and they have her start making out with Powerhouse Hobbs every week.
Dude, you ain't shit.
That is fucking. I was taking a drag of my cigarette. That's fucking hilarious.
You are not shit. And the fucked up part about it is that's some WWE shit that they did. And if you'd have said, "Oh, that wouldn't happen," oh wait, here you go.
Goddamn, Zach, that's funny.
You got Bobby Lashley. You got never mind. Okay,
right.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So then we have Jurassic Express. They fight the Elite.
Super quick. They killed him.
Yeah, they killed him.
I was trying to say, is Adam Cole alive? Somebody needs to check on him. That's where I was holding Edna May Baby before the podcast started, and I was telling her, I was whispering in her ear, you need to sell. Selling is important. You always need to sell. Adam Cole on that concerto, even that little,
he was all twitching.
Yeah, the leg twitching or whatever. That's perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's that little shit that goes a long, long way, because when they actually have this match at Full Gear, I don't know what kind of match this is, but I'm assuming this is going to be a 6-man match of some sort. There's going to be hell to pay. Okay? In some form or fashion, somebody's going to get that work. And that's what I want to see. Adam Cole did great. Christian coming back was great. Jungle Boy is like the next coming of Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara came, we were talking about, guys that are, getting over or whatever the case may be, who's going to be the next big star of AEW. I think Sammy Guevara has now gotten to that point. Jungle Boy coming off that fucking ramp, like out of the fucking darkness and shit. He's the next guy. So MJF, I know we're going to talk about him in a little bit. He talks about these 4 pillars. Those 4 pillars in some form or fashion on Wednesday were all prominent in some form or fashion at different spots.
Definitely. Zach.
Yeah, but then we have the AAA tag team match. We had Samurai Del Sol, formerly known as Kalisto, and
Ain't nothing about Kalisto.
Versus FTR, and this match was not very good. Or at least it was. FTR in general is definitely not meshing with that lucha style, but they can work with those guys like really well. I don't know what the deal was. There was just a lot of missed spots in this match, but I mean, it was like really good in spots, and it was just like not great in other spots. It just kind of was just kind of there, in my opinion.
Okay,
I agree. The only thing that I think about this match is that guy's name, Aerostar. Is that his name? Has always been Aerostar? Isn't that the name of a van?
I think like a Ford Aerostar.
Yeah, it's
Jesus,
a Ford
we're getting ready
Aerostar.
Come on, man. Come on. Let's not show our age right here. Come on now.
That was
Come
the
on,
van
fellas.
that my Aunt Mary Dees used to
Jesus
drive me
Christ.
around on Lindsay Lane, going up and down to go get White
Jesus.
Castles and run errands and
Jesus.
shit. I was in the Aerostar with her.
Jesus.
She had a sticker on it that said, "Once I have time, now I have twins."
Oh,
Because I have 2 little twin cousins.
Jesus.
I mean, Aerostar is a terrible name.
Good Lord. Okay, so let's try to bring us back to the wrestling part of this program. I didn't think it was that. It wasn't as bad as I think you guys think it is. I think this is the clash of styles where you have FTR, who are clearly not luchadors, versus Kalisto. I'm just calling him Kalisto. Mama call him Kalisto. I'm going to call him Kalisto. Versus an Aerostar, where they are truly luchadors. So, yeah, you're going to have, these missed, quote-unquote, missed spots. I don't think it's missed spots. I think, for me, this was a part of ultimately the bigger picture. FTR are not luchadors. They shouldn't be the AAA champions. You said it last week. It's more about bringing heat on the gringos who aren't luchadors versus actually the match itself. I thought the match itself was good. I don't think it was, a 5-star, FTR match that, we might be hoping for, maybe used to. I think the bigger picture is the fact that it's supposed to make FTR look bad. I guess that's where I'm going with it versus FTR looking good like we always used to see it.
I look forward to next week.
Cheated to win.
I look forward to next week when Samurai Del Sol tags with Previa.
It's a 90-day hold. He can't come out just yet. Come on.
Previa?
No, he can't.
Toyota Previa? The GMC Express?
Oh. I was about to say Grand Metal Week is just.
It was a van joke. It was a van joke.
Got it.
All right, sorry.
I was getting ready to say
Aerostar. Come on, motherfucker.
Hey, I didn't come up with the name, motherfucker. I'm just saying that.
Is that better or worse than Duncan, Idaho?
Duncan, Idaho is worse, although I did watch Dune, and Dune fucking ruled, guys. Go ahead and watch Dune.
It was awesome.
Get yourself some Dune, man.
Oh, come on, man. Is it 5 hours?
And watch Dune. Oh, it's 2.5.
2.5.
Okay, I can do that.
Oh, it's insane looking. It's insane.
Batista was in that, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, he was also in Blade Runner 2049. He's really good in Blade Runner 2049.
I know. We talked about this. If he's in Dune, then I'll definitely watch it.
We had Inner Circle versus America's Top Tag Team. Or
Jesus.
What are they called? America's Top Team?
America's Top Team.
America Top Team.
This segment's...
It's okay.
I love Dan Lambert. This is just...
They crowned on Paige Van Zandt. I mean, she walked into that. Outside of that, it was what it was.
What do you think about it, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of these segments. I'm always entertained by them. I kind of expected them to do the Dan Lambert thing. He's going to be in there for some spots. They're going to bring him in and going to get a big pop because he's going to do a couple bumps. He's never done anything like this, at least as far as I know. But
ready to find out.
Yeah, he'll bump for the guys, and by putting them down, he also puts them over. As far as Jericho is concerned, because the Paige Van Zandt thing, that he intentionally mentioned her OnlyFans and stuff, and now she's getting a lot more people googling her OnlyFans because this is more exposure for her. So I mean, I think pro wrestling is a good fit for her. Not saying she'll be good at it, but she's very marketable. She gets herself out there. She's an actual fighter. She's not super great fighter, but
so for the listener who doesn't know about Paige Van Zandt, and for the podcast host who doesn't know about Paige Van Zandt, does she actually have an OnlyFans? I'm asking for the listener.
It's research.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all bikini stuff though. They're not worth the money, in my humble opinion. But you go out and do you.
I just wish there was porn for free,
Oh my goodness!
Okay, so then we have Seidel, Leo, and Dante, which we talked about. Then we have Anna Jay versus Jamie Hayter in the TBS Championship Tournament. Jamie Hayter goes over Anna Jay. Kind of surprised me a little bit. Well, sorry, Jason. Yeah, it surprised me. Maybe I don't know as much as you do. Don't fucking look at me like that. Britt Baker and Tay Conti come out. Go ahead, Jason. Say whatever you're going to say. Go ahead.
When you have Rebel and Britt Baker at ringside for this match, and there's no Tay Conti, which was my problem with this before the match even got started, I think you probably know who was going to win. That's the only thing I was going to say.
Not me. What do you think, Zach?
I didn't know that Drew was going to challenge Big E for the title.
I didn't either.
Jesus Christ.
What do you think, Zach?
This match was not that great either. It was fine though. Nia Jax is has a lot of people are behind her. She's very marketable. That's my PC way of saying she's super hot. But she's just green, and she seems a little hesitant in the ring, and that's fine. I think she has the potential to be a star, and Jamie Hayter's got it too, but they kept it short. So it was good, and we're moving forward with the TBS title stuff.
All right, who's this guy that they have Jade Cargill with?
Mark Sterling. He actually
okay. So this guy is a perfect manager for Jade Cargill because they are totally polar. They are polar opposites. They are, it's you would expect Jade Cargill to be with a guy like Malcolm Bivens or even Paul Heyman or somebody like that. But they have this fucking total nerd. What's his name?
Mark Sterling.
Mark Sterling.
Smart Mark Sterling.
They are perfect together. I can't. Whoever's idea it was to put these two together, and this guy is just so straight laced and white as fuck, and she is so mad, and she is so fucking just. There's no other way to say this. She is just black, man. She is just black as shit, and she just.
Are we talking about Krakens, or are we just talking about
no?
The Kraken?
She is like that chick on NXT, that Lash, whatever her name is.
Lash Legend, but she's better. She actually can back it up with her physical in-ring ability.
Her appearance, the way that Jade Cargill looks, we've talked about several times. I'm not going to sound, I don't want to sound like some horny dude. She is badass looking. She looks like a badass. She looks like
she can fuck somebody up.
And that Mark Sterling dude is just the best person they could put with her, in my opinion. Jason.
Okay, so I had said something, tweeted something a while back that basically was saying that Mark Sterling wasn't going to be around long with Jade Cargill, and he tweeted back to me. He was like, "Okay, just watch." And this was a while ago, and he's still around. So that to me, when you said all this, it was like the night.
Did you tag him in it?
No, I don't tag anybody.
Oh, so he was searching it. Motherfucker, what a fucking turd.
I don't tag anybody, okay? If you respond to me as a wrestler or anybody of that such, I don't tag anybody, okay?
Good for you, because tagging people is bullshit.
Yeah. If you're going to see my shit, then you just see
it.
Yeah,
you're just offering your opinion. You're not trying to get Mark Sterling to respond to you.
No.
Good for you.
No. So he responds and basically like,
you hear that, wrestling Twitter? Fucking turds.
Okay, don't run out for
do
the
what
hug.
Jason does.
Don't run out for the hug.
Don't ask for an autograph.
Right.
You're older than these people.
Jesus. Anyway, so he basically was like, just watch. And he's still been around. And when you were saying that he's the perfect guy, I'm sitting there like, yeah. He is that perfect guy.
It's just such a mismatch that it makes so much sense.
He's the straight lace, okay, sorry, Jade.
Yeah, right.
My bad.
You could whoop my ass.
Right. Let me go. I'll wait for you to go ahead and get your breakfast, and I'll just wait patiently. You can leave out the motherfucking kitchen after that point. I like those two being together. Ultimately, I want to see Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker for the AEW title. So I'm kind of rooting for Thunder Rosa to lose at some point so I can see that match. But Jade Cargill and Mark Sterling is a very good combo.
Zach, what do you think?
I think she probably 69's on bottom.
He's heating up.
Moving on.
Jason left. Jason left. He took off his headphones and he left. Yeah, we can move on. What do you think about MJF and Darby Allin? What do you think about MJF's promo?
It was fine. It was typical MJF. I did think it was funny that Darby didn't get triggered until MJF said he could beat him with a headlock takeover.
Yeah, I know.
Get a joke, but he just got real mad all of a sudden. But yeah,
that was a bridge too far for Darby Allin.
Yeah, exactly. But it's Max going out and doing what Max does every week, and we always enjoy it. And we'll look forward to him maybe getting his comeuppance, but probably not. He'll probably beat Darby at Full Gear too.
I'm going to say this right now.
You waited for me to come back, didn't you?
No, I like, listen, I'll admit it. I've probably said it before here that Brian Pillman is a bit of a blind spot for me in terms of wrestling history. And I started watching the Brian Pillman Dark Side of the Ring.
Ugh.
And I was like, God damn, it's like, I have no recollection of this guy. It's like, maybe he just completely missed me. Just like Edge's solo run, like I wasn't there for it. But I just go back to MJF's promo on Brian Pillman Jr. and I just keep thinking like, man, that was fucking weird, man. That was such a fucking terrible, like, it was a good promo, but it was really mean.
Yeah,
it might be
very mean.
It might be being a pussy. Like, I don't know. Like, it was fucked up to me. Like, now that I've seen the Brian Pillman Dark Side of the Ring, I'm like, God damn, MJF.
Oh, you know what's even worse is like did it. It was like the week that aired. Like everybody, it's like, that's like one of the reasons that it was kind of topical, and I think one of the reasons why
they even put Brian Pillman Jr. in there.
Yeah, because he was getting some attention from the TV show. So yeah, it made it that much more poignant whenever he did it.
I'm sorry, I grew up talking shit. That's the way we did it. You had to have thick skin. That, to me, was not that big a deal.
All right. Well, this is all just a big way around of me not wanting to talk about Darby Allin's terrible promo skills against MJF. Like, I hope that MJF fucking slaughters him in the ring. I hope that he fucking breaks his skateboard. And
okay, no. Here's the question. Here's a good question, because MJF brought this up.
Hold on. I'll be the host of this. Ask me a question.
MJF brought this up in a promo, and I was curious to what you thought about this. MJF said he was the better wrestler. So if you had to say who was the better wrestler between MJF and Darby Allin, who is it?
Darby Allin.
Wow.
What would you say?
Probably Darby Allin.
Well, then why'd you say wow?
Because you don't give Darby Allin any kind of credit.
I give him all sorts of in-ring credit. Hold on a second.
I'm sorry, you don't give MJF a lot of credit.
Zach, please help me out here. I have given Darby Allin all sorts of flowers in terms of his in-ring ability. I've never said anything about his in-ring ability. I think he's great.
Except the coffin drop.
It's just kind of a weak finisher, but there's tons of guys with weak finishers.
Okay.
I got one.
We did not set him up for that,
no,
folks.
not at all.
We did not set him up for that. That's all Zach. That's all Zach, guys.
That's where I love this man. I wish we'd have been like, hey, Zach, here's this joke coming up.
No, nope. We do not talk about this. Our pre-show meeting lasts exactly 120 seconds. How you doing, Zach? How's Portland? Cool. That's it.
You red as fuck. Like, I'm getting ready to cry over this motherfucker. God damn.
No, I'll take Darby Allin as an in-ring talent. Wouldn't you? I mean, doesn't Zach? Like, that's it. Like,
I guess my problem with this one
I would take MJF overall, though, if we're talking total package. Like, we talked last week about AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins in-ring or total package, right? I said I'd take Seth Rollins all the way. You guys said that you would take AJ Styles in ring, but you would take Seth Rollins as a total package, which is a completely fair argument. But if I was taking a total package, I'll take MJF by far. But if I'm taking just in ring, I'm taking Darby Allin.
Okay.
I think it's funny, too, because we see MJF wrestle like 5 times a year.
Yeah,
like,
he never wrestles.
His dude comes out and does his promos, but and he wrestles on pay-per-views.
He did a whole thing with Jericho where all he did was put Jericho through the 5 labors of Jericho, and he never had to wrestle once.
Okay, but
that took 2 months.
Ultimately, I'll say this. Ultimately, if Adam Page wins the title, that's when MJF starts to get back into quote-unquote wrestling.
He's not even close to being as good in the ring as Hangman Page.
I'm not saying that
Do you think MJF?
Did I say that?
Would you?
Did I say that?
No, you didn't. No, you
Okay.
didn't. And I'm not trying to do a straw man thing. But let me ask you this:
Damn.
would you even want to see MJF in the G1?
Oh God, no.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Stop,
exactly.
Stop,
Would you like to see Darby Allin? Would you like to see Darby Allin in the G1?
Okay.
No, I'm just.
Okay. You are crossing the
It's
streams
just a
of
question.
this motherfucker.
No, it's just a question.
It's not a question. It's totally two different things. Okay, MJF is not built to do the G1.
Is
okay?
Darby Allin?
Oh God, no. If Nitro got broke in night 1, what you getting ready to think is getting ready hard? 2 beer, come on, get in here.
I'm asking you, which one would you rather see in the G1? MJF or Darby Allin?
I'd rather see MJF.
I'd rather see MJF.
Fuck you guys. I'm taking a piss. You guys start talking. Just talk about whatever the fuck you want.
Okay,
MJF
no, we can
would
talk
be
about
like,
this.
MJF would be like a Jay White only.
Thank you.
know.
Thank you. It's not like it's not like it's Yujiro Takahashi. Okay? It's not like somebody we got to, make something happen for. You said it perfectly. MJF would be Jay White. All you had to do was bring out, and you didn't have to bring out somebody that's his second. Okay? God forbid that Dick Togo was like, MJF second, but it's that same concept. Jay White's not the greatest wrestler in the world, but he's heel enough to where now when he talks, you don't like him. And now when Gato comes in to help him, it's more heel shit. I'd rather see MJF in the G1 right now versus anybody else. Over Darby Allin, please. Come on now. I see great wrestling in New Japan all the fucking time. All the fucking time. You got MJF come into the G1 and start talking?
I think he'd surprise a lot of people too with his wrestling because he's a real student and he's
and I'm
decent athlete.
I'm not asking him to be Zack Sabre Jr. by any stretch of the imagination.
That's good because he wouldn't be.
Who is, motherfucker?
He wouldn't be by any stretch of the imagination.
Who is?
He wouldn't be Yujiro by any stretch of the imagination.
Stop it. Don't be mad because I'm right, okay?
Hold on. You think that MJF is as good as Yujiro in the ring?
Yeah, I think he's better.
I didn't have to say a word.
That's insane.
No, I think you might be. I think you might be.
You picked the wrong. You
confusing.
picked like the worst person. Are you talking about Hiromu? Because
Thank you.
Hiromu. Yeah.
No. I'm talking about Yujiro. I'm talking about
Bullet Club.
Yeah, I'm talking about the pimp.
Oh Jesus Christ! Get
You
your
guys
boy.
are wrong. You guys are
Get your
wrong.
boy.
You
Get
guys
your
are
boy.
wrong. You guys
Get
think
your
MJF
boy.
is better than Yujiro? He's
Yes.
a 36-year-old fucking wrestler. He has 10 years of wrestling on MJF in Japanese style. Are you guys fucking crazy?
Get your boy.
MJF is 25 years old. He can barely
And
fucking
way
wrestle
better.
Jericho,
And
who's
way
52. That's an insane take. That's an insane.
Okay, so Jericho's 52. Are we not going to put in the effect of who MJF is wrestling against? I mean, it's easy.
Yeah, I watched him
easy,
wrestle Jungle
it's
Boy, and it was
easy
shit. You guys thought it was
dude.
good because you guys
Okay.
are fucking marks.
Okay.
It was not good.
Okay, it's easy to look good against Okada. Okay,
Oh, God damn. I can't. Oh, my
it's
God.
easy to look
My-
good against.
my
I would go.
Butthole
I
is
would look good against
clenched. I'm so
Okada.
fucking mad. So fucking mad at this.
I
Who
could
would
look
have thought
good
that
with.
Yujiro would have been the hill that he died on?
Because he's the worst one he's the worst one in this year's G1, and he's still better than MJF in the ring. That's not a crazy take.
It is a huge crazy take. Get your
I think
boy.
the only worst hill to die on is the hill of Golgotha that's tattooed on the back of Lance Archer, and that's the only one.
He's heating up.
It's no regrets.
That's fine.
It's no regrets.
Fine.
I think
I can't believe.
we the Millers. We're the Millers. Okay, which is worse, Which is worse, Bill's take on
You're bringing up Where the Millers? That movie with Jason Sudeikis?
Yes, because when you have that fucking no regrets fucking tattoo, okay, that's a bad tattoo. Your take is equally as bad. Now, which is worse?
You guys, I don't know what MJF matches you guys are watching. Like, even Zach just said we've only seen him fight like 5 times in the last year.
Yeah,
like,
because they're doing it for a reason. It's not because
because he's a good promo and he's not good in the ring. Otherwise, I'd have him go squash guys.
Dude, stop.
No, I think it's like I'm sure he does work and stuff, but as far as I think it's just a great way to stay healthy. And I'm sure he trains.
Oh, like eating grape nuts. Yeah, I know.
Dude,
it's a great way to stay healthy.
It's okay. You're wrong. It's okay.
You guys are wrong.
No, you're wrong.
All right, we'll let the people decide.
Take the L and move along.
I'm not taking an L. I'm taking the W.
So
give me this weed.
We had
Watch him start coming over here in a little bit.
From kind of a nothing segment, setting up the pay-per-view match. It was quite the digression. But yeah, so we had Cody Rhodes versus Andrade El Idolo. These guys, really, solid work. It's kind of more story-oriented right now, though, with kind of Cody's reactions. There's boos, there's cheers. Really kind of an interesting dynamic with Cody that we've talked about lately. FTR eventually comes out. Cody goes to do a dive. They hit him with the AAA belt. Andrade does his hammerlock DDT for the win. And then, we've got the whole Malachi Black thing, and there's some really fun dynamics with Malachi Black and Andrade because Melina, used to, which is Malachi's wife, used to manage Andrade. Tony Khan just brought that up on Wrestling Observer Live yesterday. So I don't know.
I didn't think about that.
I was fine with Cody Andrade. I thought
the match was good.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good match. I like Cody matches when they're kind of methodical because I've said it on here for a long time. Cody can tell a good story in a ring. And Andrade is a superior wrestler. Long time ago, probably 4 years ago on this podcast, I said that that Alberto Del Rio and Andrade were equal in terms of in-ring ability. I was wrong. So
everybody's throwing out their skeletons tonight.
Everybody's dropping their skeletons tonight.
Bill was like, "Who would you rather see in the G1?"
Both.
I'll take that L.
Good job, Duvir.
Still right about MJF, but I love Andrade. I love the way that this finished because they seem to have some sort of agreement between the Pinnacle and Andrade and Malachi Black. What I do want to mention to my fellow English major on the podcast.
Well, go fuck myself.
Yeah, just go piss or something.
Go outside and
let
mow
the English
the lawn,
talk to
boy.
each other. Did you notice? I didn't call you boy. Did you notice when Malachi Black was cutting that promo and he goes, "Just know that when they assassinated Julius Caesar, Marcus wasn't the only one that betrayed him." And I was like, does he mean Brutus? Did that pass through everybody?
I thought he's. Go ahead, Tubir. You're the guy.
Marcus Aurelius was one of the assassins, but Brutus is the most famous one because Julius Caesar said "Et tu, Brute," right?
Right.
So
yeah, but I think the whole thing. I think it was there were multiple conspirators and there were multiple assassins because they all just kind of turned on him. But I think I didn't go back and look at it, but I actually thought the exact same thing. I thought he slipped up, but then I'm like, no. I'm like, there was multiple times. I was like, maybe Marcus stabbed first because obviously Brutus didn't because he said "et tu, Brute," which means and you, Brutus.
Yeah,
So,
basically
like,
being like, even you, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking that.
So you think he
Marcus might
said
have been the
Marcus
first one
on
to say.
purpose?
I thought he might have. At first, my initial knee-jerk reaction was that he screwed up. Absolutely. But I think he might have said it on purpose.
I'll take it.
What, as like a deep cut then?
I'll take it. I just thought of this, and I'll take it one step further. Ate Brute would be somebody that's close to you. Okay, if you're Cody Rhodes, if you're going to say something like that, who's the closest person to Cody Rhodes right now?
Arn Anderson.
Boom.
But Arn Anderson didn't turn on him.
Okay, it didn't happen right now.
So you think Arn's going to turn on him at Full Gear?
It would make sense.
I think he fucked up. I think he meant to say Brutus, and he said Marcus, and nobody that was editing it and nobody that was paying attention to it knew any better.
I will almost go as far as, dare I say, the infamous shot bet to say.
We'll never know unless we talk to Malachi Black and give him truth.
No. I think it's going to come out at some point. Full Gear is obviously next week. So if Arn Anderson turns on Cody Rhodes, that's the next conspiracy.
Didn't he already turn on him, though? And then they kind of backtracked it?
No, not really.
Okay.
I'm trying to get you back on track.
Might have been a dream I had.
No, he tried to get him back on track. He won that third match where Malachi Black won the first two. So now Cody's back on track.
God, we're living in a golden age of AEW.
It's crazy.
They're clicking on all cylinders.
It's crazy.
Zach, what did you think about that match?
Yeah, it was totally solid. Every time I was just
Cody
doing my
Andrade.
research. Yeah, no, it was a good match. Yeah, like Casca was the one who stabbed Caesar first, so yeah, he must have just screwed up.
You're talking about Malachi Black screwed up?
Yeah, I think that's what he did. So our knee-jerk reactions were likely correct. Anyway,
being right.
There was a solid match, and I was actually kind of wondering because I was like, we don't have a whole lot of time in this TV show left, and then they bring what's his name, Johnny Hungy out to do like the most insider promo of insider promos.
I'm like, what the? I'm sitting there watching this shit. I'm like, am I not watching the same? It was totally.
Listen,
and I watch a ton of fucking.
I say
wrestling.
this with all due respect. I watched this promo, and I was completely sober, but I was on very little sleep, and I was holding my baby, and I was looking at this promo, and then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, is he a little person?
Oh my God.
Because when he flexed his biceps, they were like so close to his head. I was like, God, that looks like a little person.
You're going to hell.
But he's not a little person, right?
No, he's not a little person.
I'm just being honest, though.
Jesus
he's not
Christ.
a big person.
No, he's not a big person.
No, he's not a big person either. God damn. What the fuck?
He's not a big person either.
No, he's really not. Okay? This whole fucking segment was like, what the fuck?
He was kind of doing like a wee man thing, though. He was kind of like, he was talking.
No, supposedly this is BTE type shit.
All right.
And that's where I was just like, okay. And I was like, what the fuck? Because nothing for me in that promo made any kind of sense.
We have a lot to get through. We have Orange Cassidy and Miro. I don't think there wasn't a whole lot of mystery as to who was going to win this match. I think we all knew it was going to be Miro, who's
especially when Orange Cassidy came out with the tapes around the rib.
Very good replacement for Moxley. Because this was
last week.
This was supposed to be Cassidy versus Moxley, right?
No, and I said it last week. Not Moxley, but Pac, Miro, guys that I thought should have been in it. They're not in it, and now.
So now we're having Miro versus Bryan Danielson, right?
Yes.
Yep.
At Full Gear.
Which sounds fun.
Yes. Yep. Sounds like a ton of fun. Yeah. And for all these haters that say that this is just a WWE match.
No, it's not. It's not even going to be close.
It's not even going to be close because they're having the match in AEW. They're not having the match in WWE.
it's gonna fucking rule.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they've only wrestled one time before. Anyway.
That's what I was trying to think
I don't
about.
even care. Like, they could have had 3 matches on 3 stupid pay-per-views in WWE.
Fair.
I want to see him have a match on AEW.
No, that's fair. That is a totally fair call.
Give him 20 minutes and let him go.
Go. And whoever wins, we'll just figure that out. But yeah, I really am looking forward to this match because now you have Miro back on the stage where God has to prove something to Miro. Daniel Bryanson's on
God
the move.
has to prove something to Miro.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
And Daniel Bryanson is literally on the road to a title match. This should be a banger-ass match.
Let me ask you about this, Zach. What do you think about Orange Cassidy now that we've gotten back to having crowds?
I don't think anything's changed. I think it was funny how he seemed to be a much bigger deal without the crowds, at least as far as like his slot or kind of where he's positioned. He's still decently protected and stuff, but he was in really kind of top tier programs, and I think he'll have his time in the sun again. But it is kind of funny that you can't hold everything back until you get crowds, and I think that he did a good job of helping them along during the pandemic. But yeah. He's still over, but it seems like maybe not as much as he was at one time.
I kind of think that they pushed him a little bit harder when there were no crowds so that he would still have the impact that he had when they came back to crowds. Like, I don't know if they did it on purpose, but I think they did it perfectly, where they made him a really big deal when there were no crowds, even though his act really doesn't work with no crowds. His act works really good with crowds. Like, when he raises his hand and then puts them in his pockets, that crowd pops, man.
All the time.
Oh, yeah. They pop it, like, throughout any of his performances. Like, he gets big reactions.
He's the evolution of wrestling.
Let's not go that far. I'll just say this.
The revolution of wrestling?
Okay, fair enough. When you bring in, Daniel Bryanson, Adam Cole, baby, other guys, everybody's going to take a slide down the roster. Orange Cassidy is not doing anything wrong. It's just now you got these other guys that are coming in. Miro, we're just talking about, that's, obviously beat Orange Cassidy to go to the AEW Eliminatory Tournament Final. It's not necessarily Orange Cassidy's fault. It's just now, once again, with WWE, releasing, 20-some-odd, talent, don't think, not some of these motherfuckers are coming to AEW. And as much as I don't want to see anybody come to AEW at this point, that's just me. I think this roster is completely stacked. I know we weren't going to talk about Moxley for 30 seconds, but I'm going to talk about him for 30 seconds. Him going away, getting his shit right. This roster is so deep, they just had to plug somebody in, and next thing you know, you had a great fucking match. So for me, Miro coming in, to me, should have happened to begin with. He coming in now is perfect, and now I think that Miro and Daniel Bryanson is going to have a really banger-ass match.
Oh, yeah, they are. And honestly, like, Moxley going out, like, we used to talk about, should they have 8 months on and 4 months off as wrestlers, just to keep everybody fresh, keep everybody a little bit more healthy? I'm not saying.
Well, and it's cool. It's cool, real quick, with Orange Cassidy, because, like, with his gimmick, like, what does he care if he slides down the card? No,
he
he's not
doesn't.
going to be out.
And
he doesn't care, like, in character.
And low key, Miro versus Orange Cassidy is a pretty fun fucking mismatch of styles, like, really strange. And they both like get it. They both have that same Kurt Angle style, where they just know they're in on the joke. I love them. Anyway, we can keep it going. Let's get to that. 3 counts.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, the 3 count is something we don't do very often, but we're going to talk about main roster stuff.
And what happened the other night on Raw, which I really enjoyed, which is why I wanted to talk about it, was Seth Rollins comes out, starts talking shit. He's the number one contender. Big E comes out, challenges him. Big E, to his credit, has been a little bit more serious lately, a little less jokey.
Go ahead.
What?
No, I'll let you finish. Before I jump in.
And then KO comes out, Kevin Owens, my dude, and he says that him and Big E have never had a one-on-one match, and they're going to have a one-on-one match at the end of the show. So KO and Big E have this one-on-one match. Seth Rollins approaches Kevin Owens before the match, says, I'll scratch your bag, you scratch mine. Kevin Owens refuses. Seth Rollins interferes in the match anyway. Kevin Owens sees what happens and still tries to pin Big E. Big E pins him anyway, clean, and then gets pissed off at him, says, you were trying to take advantage of what Seth Rollins did. Kevin Owens grabs the mic, apologizes to him, seems sincere.
Seems.
Big E gives him the big ending, right in the middle of the ring. Heelish, no?
No.
No?
No.
Zach, heelish?
Yeah, I saw this and I thought it was. I mean, I know that he got interfered on and stuff, but he did kind of come off maybe not heelish, but just kind of dickish, which is not how Big E normally comes off at all.
Jason, what do you think?
Big E saw what happened after the fact. It's not like, I'm taking a guess of what happened. He saw what happened after the fact.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't understand how this is heelish. This is giving the receipt.
Okay, well, maybe not heelish.
Me.
Maybe not heelish. Maybe not heelish, but is it baby face?
It's giving the receipt. To me, this is giving the receipt.
I keep hearing this giving the receipt thing, but that's a shoot term. That's about fucking somebody else after they messed you up in the middle of the ring accidentally, and then you come back and get your receipt.
Okay, that's fair.
Receipt's not a kayfabe term.
Oh, no.
They've been working it into commentary, though. I've been hearing it on both brands.
For sure.
Yeah, I heard it the other night, and that's not
the true definition.
Bobby Heenan never said receipt.
Bobby Heenan wasn't live in 2021.
But I'm saying, it's a new thing.
It's not even a new thing. I think it's just a new term.
Because Bobby Heenan paid cash for everything.
I think it's just a new term.
God bless that man.
I had no problem with what Big E did because
kayfabe style.
Big E did what other baby faces have done in the past. I get that point.
Wrong.
No. Big E, are we going to really sit here and say that Big E has done something that it's so original that we've never seen it?
A baby face would never watch a guy say, listen, dude, I'm sorry, and really plead it out, and then be like, okay, well, fuck you, I'm giving you my finisher anyway.
That bullshit, Abe. I'm calling bullshit on that. This is WWE. I'm sorry. There is some angle somewhere in the 70-plus history.
Oh, I know what the angle is. KO's turning heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's fine. But
I just think that Big E did something a little heelish. Hold on. Hey, let's ask the left coast liberal.
He did. We did. He agreed with you, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you guys are right. It means you guys are probably wrong on this one. I'm sorry.
Are you looking forward to Kevin Owens being the new WWE World Champion?
Is he going to resign?
Are you looking forward to it? All right.
I'm sorry. As far as I'm concerned, this is the Dean Ambrose way out the door.
Let me ask Zach. Zach, Xavier Woods is the new king of the ring. And Kofi Kingston declared himself the hand of the king.
Sir Kofi.
This week.
Sir Kofi.
So which one's turning heel?
Oh, man.
Wow.
That would be weird.
You don't think one of them's
turning
turning heel?
Would be very Game of Thrones.
I think that one of them's turning heel.
You think one of them? Damn.
And I think it's going to. Well, which one do you think it's going to be? If one of them had to turn heel
I would rather
this,
be Kofi Kingston.
During this thing, which one's it going to be?
I would rather be Kofi Kingston.
What do you think? No, but which one do you think it's going to be?
Xavier Woods.
What do you think,
Zach?
I
think storyline wise, just having the crown and like the things going to his head would be easier to turn Xavier.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and he's wearing the crown.
I don't think, dude, I know we keep talking about this. I don't think either one of them are going heel anytime soon.
I think we're going to see Xavier Woods go heel sooner rather than later.
Okay.
What's the pay-per-view after Survivor Series?
They're not going to do a December pay-per-view because it's usually TLC. They have a January 1st pay-per-view, which they haven't named or...
How far away is Survivor Series?
It's the day after my birthday. So we're down to days.
I think we could see a Xavier Woods heel turn before that.
Way too close. Way too close.
They don't tell long-term stories.
It's still way too close, dude. I mean, damn. Okay, so this week's the 6th. 13th. Birthday is the 20th. The next day, the 21st, that's Survivor Series.
All right.
So you're going to say in 2 weeks, Xavier Woods turns heel. In 2 weeks.
I'm saying he's going to turn heel before you turn 60. That's next week, right? What'd you say, Zach?
I just said anything can happen when it comes to WWE. I mean, we saw that today. Although, hey, I'm looking at my Twitter feed here. Not that you guys are boring me or anything, but I just took a look. And
I'm dead.
Apparently...
I'm dead.
Some of these.
I'm getting ready to piss my pants.
That's such a chop.
Right. Not even saying there's anything that's important, but scroll.
But it looks like some, not all, but some of those WWE cuts were in relation to vaccination status. So that makes a little sense maybe on how many there were. So
okay.
Now we can...
Okay, really? Okay, so all of a sudden now WWE is going to be that guy. Oh, we got to make sure everybody's vaccinated? That's a part of the guy?
I think it's a corporate move to kind of just make sure that there's less uncertainty as far as these you get your talent. You're keeping your employees safe, or that's what everybody says, keeping your employees safe. But really, they want to keep them healthy so they can keep them working and keep them.
Okay,
all right.
I was getting ready to say 2 beer. Come on now.
This is the other thing I wanted to say to you guys, is that this week on Raw, we had Finn Balor versus Chad Gable. Now, when you see that coming up on Raw, you're like, yeah, I'm sure that'll be fine. Probably be 4 minutes of fine. Now,
it's a good match.
If those guys were in AEW, and it was Chad Gable versus Finn Balor, like opening up a Dynamite.
Game on.
We're talking 15 minutes of burner shit, right?
Go.
That's a difference. Like when people say, well, they offer you 2 different things. It's like, no, AEW offers you it's wrestling. I want to see Chad Gable versus Finn Balor. I've never seen it.
But other guys don't want to see that shit. Okay? And that's what and that to me is what what I think I get from Twitter and all my interaction from it. AEW is wrestling, is what I think as wrestling. Okay, so you have different styles.
WWE.
It's sports entertainment.
Ask Zach what he thinks before he starts scrolling through the internet again.
Zach, what do you think about it before you scroll through the internet?
What's the question?
The question is...
I mean, I was listening, but I just don't know what... I didn't know how you're referring to it.
Finn Balor versus Chad Gable. That sounds cool on WWE programming, right?
Should be amazing on any other level besides WWE.
This is what I'm saying. Like, when people say, oh, it's Daniel Bryan versus Rusev, we've already seen this match in WWE. It's like, no, yeah, but you're going to see it on AEW television. So,
yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten a chance for that to happen yet, where we've seen like 2 guys that have wrestled on WWE and had a program that we remember, and then they go do it somewhere else. Because it's a different thing, because they are not allowed to do certain things, and it's not just specific moves. They aren't allowed to work whatever style they want to work. They have to work that mechanical WWE style. And some of those guys you see whenever they get done with the WWE, whether they're released or whatever, some of them keep working that style. Like, you know, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing, and they get basically indoctrinated into it, and then they can't stop doing it. Oh, Jason's all right. He only broke 3 fingers. Let's get. All right, that's gonna do it for our 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
And everybody, this is a segment we call the odds and ends.
This is banned from Ringside.
Okay, so the odds and ends is basically our 4 count. It's going to be NXT 2.0. Opened up with Mandy Rose, Io Shikai, Toxic Attraction came out, KC and KC came out, Dakota Kai came out, Cora Jade came out.
That didn't all came out in one spot. Jesus Christ.
Yes, all of them.
They didn't.
That was one segment. I don't have a question there. We can go on to Duke's Porker Room.
I have a question. No, I have a question. I have a question.
What do you think?
No.
What?
Io Shirai, to me, is the question coming out of this whole segment, because it feels like it's Io Shirai versus Mandy Rose. And I'll say this. Io Shirai is one of those women I thought should have been called up before this whole reboot for NXT came out. Is Io Shirai getting ready to job to Mandy Rose? That's what it feels to me at this point.
Yeah, I was probably Toxic Attraction, like helping her.
Fuck, man.
Listen,
That's not what I wanted to hear. Io Shirai is better than that. If I thought that she would be used properly on the WWE main roster, I think that's where she ultimately should be.
have we all watched this NXT 2.0? Because I'll skip past parts, because there are parts that are very skippable.
Oh yeah,
You know, I didn't watch it.
I
this
watched
week
it, but
at
I
all.
mean, you can definitely skip through this shit.
All right, so I'm gonna say the thing that stood out to me the most on this NXT 2.0 is that Carmelo Hayes is really fucking good, man.
They put him against Ciampa fairly quickly, and that says something.
Yeah, and he had a really fun segment this week during his match. I loved him. I was like, oh man, this guy's got it.
The fact that they're making it the quote unquote A title, they had him come across Ciampa. I'm not saying that they're going to marry the titles again, but
Yeah, but that little part he had against Ciampa this week fucking ruled, though.
it
ruled.
It made me think, like, okay, what could actually happen? And that's a good thing.
Yeah, and Ciampa made him look like $1 million. Did you see that part, Zach?
I didn't watch this week at all.
You suck.
Yeah, well, I mean, I watched the entire thing. There's really not much to watch. It's really, like, so slapdash fucking stupid.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. Imperium is now getting ready to fuck Toxic Attraction. Solo Sikoa.
He looks like an Uso. He looks like an Uso.
Well, that makes sense because he is an Uso. Briggs and Jensen, their vignette was really strange.
It's the odd couple tag team.
Yeah, I know, but it's odd really
couple
strange.
tag teams. Distraction finishes. It's WWE has a formula whether you like it or not.
I fucked up. I said Ciampa. It was Carmelo Hayes versus Johnny Gargano, and it was really
No. You said it right. Him and Ciampa had a cross. They crossed paths where they were like, okay.
But when he did the kick thing and he
okay,
swiped kicks at him, it was really good. Gargano is the man. It was a pretty good NXT 2.0. I just don't think I ever have to watch it. I think I could watch it once a month and get the gist of it.
At this point, I'll say this, and I watched them all up to this point. It's a reboot, and that's fine. I guess my biggest problem with this is there's no real direction. It's like there's 50 people on this roster, and they're trying to put in 35 people in one episode. Ultimately, I think they will get it right, but it's just so many fucking people at so many times.
What do you think, Zach? What do you think, Zach?
I am not gonna make this a priority ever. Like, I'll throw it on the background when I'm working around the house or something, but this is not must-see TV. But I will, if I got nothing else going on or if I got some time to kill, I'll throw it on. But
that's
once a month, probably the frequency.
Best way to put it. Two more things about the main roster. McIntyre beat Mustafa Ali. Not newsworthy, but he beat him with the Kimura lock. So is McIntyre going to start using the Kimura lock, or do you think this is a one-time thing?
No, I think this is going to be a thing where him and Brock are going to have to cross paths again.
And then there was Charlotte Flair came out, cut a promo at the very beginning of SmackDown, alluded to what happened last week, but didn't make a big deal out of it. Then we had Charlotte Flair versus Shotzi. Charlotte Flair beats her clean, and then Shotzi does a Sasha Banks beatdown. This confused me because I didn't know that Sasha Banks was supposed to be a babyface.
She is now.
But was she?
Okay. Ultimately, I think this
It's a real question.
No, ultimately, I think this boils down to Survivor Series, where you want to have, if you're WWE, you want to have Becky versus Charlotte Flair, champion versus champion. The title exchange was some bullshit, but you're going to ultimately get there. Now, the question is Shotzi Blackheart better as a babyface or a heel? She's a babyface, dude. Come on. I get it.
She has green hair.
Come on, man.
Bones through her noses.
Okay. She's baby face all the way. Sasha, you can make Sasha be a heel because Sasha can do either or easily.
Zach, is Adam Pearce turning heel?
That's what it seems like. Seems like him and...
Come on, man. $1 million? God damn. Shit.
Him and Sydney seem like they're going heel.
So what's more likely? This is the last question before birthdays. What's more likely? Lesnar stays babyface. Paul Heyman goes babyface. Roman stays heel. Or Roman goes babyface.
Dude, come on, man.
And Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman go heel.
What the fuck, man?
It's two options.
It's like 5.
No, it's just two options. What do you think, Zach?
It's funny because I like that dynamic of babyface Brock, but it didn't really seem to change that match as much as I thought it would because Roman is very over, and they're both just over.
He's heating up.
I'm just saying he's right. He's right.
He's not right.
No, he's right.
No.
So Zach, one word answer. Who is a babyface at WrestleMania? Brock or Reigns?
You like the last time they wrestled?
No, coming up.
Coming up WrestleMania.
Oh, who's coming up?
Not even if they're wrestling each other. Who's a babyface? Who's a heel?
If it was going to happen, who would be the babyface?
I think Brock.
Jason, what do you think?
Come on, man. It ain't going to take that long. It's Brock Lesnar. He's the babyface. Roman's the heel.
At WrestleMania?
Yes.
I think Brock's got a chance to win the Rumble, and he'll get over huge.
Dude,
you know what?
Need to win the Rumble. Come on, man.
What?
Nope. We're going to open up a whole nother can of worms. We're getting ready to go home.
I started this conversation thinking I was going to disagree with you guys, but no, you're right. Brock's going to be the babyface. They're going to just stretch it out.
Yeah.
This
Come on,
is
man.
Banned from Ringside.
Hey, everybody. We got some birthdays this week. Alexander Wolf. Remember him? 35. Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis.
Former NWA champion.
35. King Kong Bundy.
He's 30. Jesus Christ, I'm old.
64. Joey Ryan.
He's still alive.
He's alive, but not in the wrestling world. See ya, Joey Ryan.
You ain't shit.
He's 42. What? Okay, I'm not gonna say it. DiBiase,
say it.
I've never raped anybody. DiBiase Jr.
As well, you should.
He's 39. Keith Lee, the aforementioned, 37.
God damn, dude.
Drop 10. Okada is 34. Chris Jericho,
older than me.
51.
Thank you.
Pete Dunne is 28. Cowboy Bob Orton is 71. Billy Gunn is 58 from Chuck and Billy. You guys remember him. Ryback is 40. And Peyton Royce, she's 29.
Are you serious?
Hey, everybody.
Take you serious?
We know there's tons of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to ours.
I love you, Zach.
For Murray the Murray Murray.
Jack.
For Patriot Pat.
Jack.
For Dan O.
Jack.
For
said
Tinder
Dan O.
Mahal.
Jack.
For Vice.
Jack.
Key Vanderway. Kill Jason. For my wife Erin. For my
Jack.
daughter Edna Guerrero.
Baby.
For Two Beers Zach Pullman
Jack,
out
Jack.
there in Portland, Oregon. And for Jason Cornelius
Konnichiwa,
Bell.
bitches.
I am Bill Vagey,
Jack.
and everybody never forget to just boo the heat.